Okay, so I realized that I didn't reveal mission 3, which was splits. We're gonna go ahead and do it on camera real quick. You guys already know what it is. Like I just said, here's number 3, splits for 30 days. Now we're gonna actually show not 4, but 5, which is kind of confusing, but we're about to do 5, and 4 is gonna be a little bit later. So here is number 5, Japanese conversational fluency. And it goes hand in hand with what I'm doing for splits. We basically spoiled it. Honestly, we should have made it number 4. It makes no sense to have made it. You know, I'm all over the place, but it's okay. We're gonna get through this. Let's go ahead and continue with our challenge number, 3. So basically splits, and we're gonna do our best to explain the other challenge while we're doing the splits. Like I mentioned in my piano video where I introduced mission number 2, my focus is not gonna be try to make the most amazing content ever during these challenges. It's to actually accomplish what I set out to accomplish. The project itself is what matters the most to me. So it's kind of okay that I'm all over the place. In regards to the filming process, I don't think it's right now my priority. Like maybe later, I'll try my best to be way more organized before doing the challenge, but I just really want to do the projects. I really want to accomplish the missions. So that's gonna be my objective. That's what I'm gonna keep my eye on, my focus on. I'm not gonna worry too much about editing. I'm not even gonna post every day probably. None of it matters. The only thing that matters is that I get these 5 things done, that I actually just do it. As much as I do like the theatrics and drama and performance of things, that is definitely where I have to keep laser focused. But let's go ahead and introduce our Japanese challenge now. So like we said, it's conversational fluency. And obviously, I'm not gonna attain that over the next 30 days. Conversations are about so many different things. What I want to do is communicate myself very clearly in Japanese. I actually did the interview test recently, and I haven't made or posted the video yet where I was practicing for it, but basically I made a video or recorded a video where I was practicing for the level check test, which I should be warming up right now, which I kind of knew what they were gonna ask already because I've experienced it before. And also it's sort of like, what questions can you ask in an interview? It's pretty standard, like where are you from? Where are you right now? What do you usually do? What do you do for work? And all that stuff. So I kind of feel like it's the same thing for whenever you meet people. The pattern happens over and over and over and over again. You talk to enough people, you have repeated enough times what you usually think about something or what you do, and you have it scripted in your head at this point. Whether or not you have a great answer, that's another story, but that's what we're actually going to work on today. I think initially, I want to be able to express myself and sort of, let's say I meet someone new, like a native speaker, Japanese, like I've done so many times at this point. I know what's gonna be asked. I know the questions that people usually ask. And I know where my weaknesses are. I know where my strengths are as well. So if I know all these things, why don't I just basically get good at answering very fluently in Japanese, like the specific Japanese I need to know for just these conversations. It makes no sense for me not to do that, basically. It's the same concept as my audiobook, basically. My audiobook is how to understand and also respond to the most common Japanese that you'll experience when you're traveling in Japan or going out in general. Like even if you're living there, because most of the time you're just interacting with service workers. It's at the konbini, at restaurants, at train stations, and so on. It's the same Japanese used over and over again. But for a while, I just struggled with it. So, and I didn't like actively try to figure out what Japanese that was until I created the audiobook, or like before the audiobook where I started taking notes and then compiled it into the audiobook basically. And my native Japanese friends also helped me a lot during that process. Basically, all the Japanese is from them. And I was the one who kind of just asked questions and collected everything together and created the audiobook. I can basically do the same thing, except I'm not gonna turn it into an audiobook because it's gonna be very personal to me this time. I think that's kind of where the best answers lie. So the ultimate objective for Japanese conversational fluency is basically, another way to say it is, I want to master small talk in Japanese. And when I say small talk, I mean answering those questions like, you know, what do you do for work? What do you like to do? What are your hobbies? Stuff like that. Stuff that was actually asked in the level check interview. And because I practiced with the method that I'm about to describe, I was able to respond quite easily. And you know, the interviewer was like, well, your Japanese is very smooth. But it's only because I practiced beforehand and I knew the question beforehand. Otherwise, I would have stumbled across a lot of words and my thoughts. And I feel like I can just keep doing this. If I keep encountering situations where a common question happens, I can just apply it to the system, learn it, and then practice it, and then be fluent at it. So it's basically very simple. What I do initially, and I basically described it for like how to create the audiobook thing. It's the same process. So what I do is I basically anticipate questions. From there, you know, I know how the questions are asked. I know how to understand it, first of all, so I don't need to worry about that. But from there, I have to come up with a good response, not something that's super simple and boring. So basically, people asking about, oh, what's your background, you know? What's your work? What do you like to do? Like your hobbies? What are you doing in Japan? What do you like about Japan? Stuff like that. Very simple stuff, but the ones that I'm gonna keep my focus on for this 30-day challenge are the ones that I really, really want to answer. So the ones that I wrote down are, like, when people ask about me, I find that the things I like talking about the most are, number one, my passions. My work, it's pretty much the same thing. So talking about freelance and talking about YouTube and talking about like how I wanna do certain things. So passion, work, goals, all very similar. And in the interview, they asked me about my YouTube stuff because I did mention that, you know, I do freelance and I make videos and I do it for fun on YouTube. And they asked me like what my YouTube channel is about, but I can't describe it well in Japanese. So that's like one of the first things I want to do is be able to describe what I do on YouTube really well in Japanese. So essentially what I'm going to be doing from here on is constructing an answer, a clean answer in English. And it's going to be somewhat scripted in a way, but I don't mind that because I feel like having the ability to give a good answer to those questions, one that excites you and excites whoever's listening, it's a good skill either way. It's good to be able to communicate that to someone, like what you like, what you love to do, what you do for work, what your goals are, all that stuff. I feel like it's so fun to talk about in general. Like that's what I do for this channel basically. So I need to construct a really, really solid answer in English, both spoken and written. Once I have a written version, I can turn it into Japanese by either asking a native friend to help me turn it into Japanese, or I can just use AI, ChatGPT, Grok, whatever, and ask it to sound super natural because I have tested AI for Japanese before and one of my native friends told me that it does sound natural. So after we have that translation, all we need to do from there is practice it. Ideally, I ask one of my native friends to record it for me so I can actually practice it with the correct tones. That's kind of like what my audiobook is based around because it's shadowing. You want to listen to a native speaker say it and then copy as closely as possible. So what I'm doing is essentially just creating something very similar to my audiobook, but for myself. Like these answers are very specific to me. I've encountered them so many times before and I'm always like, I can't get it. I need to get better at Japanese. But what I do is study kanji and other random stuff and learn how to read better. And I'm like, that's not gonna get you to where you wanna be. That's not gonna get you fluent in answering that question. Just learn how to answer that question. Just tackle the biggest thing you wanna do directly. So that's the whole premise behind my audiobook as well, actually. Because I genuinely believe that the stuff I put, the interactions in the audiobook were what I experienced the most when I was in Japan, and I was like, how do I still not understand what they're saying? So tackle the problem directly. It's following the same philosophy, but making it extremely personalized. And of course, this is completely unnecessary for anyone who isn't going to meet someone who they talk with only in Japanese, because if that Japanese speaker can speak English, you'll most likely try to explain it to them in English. But for my time in Japan, I usually encounter people who can only speak Japanese. So it is a good idea to be able to communicate myself very properly and very, maybe not properly, but very clearly. You know, I'm thinking that I might actually just do more videos like these and not stream because I kind of don't like streaming that much for when I'm doing this stuff because it's kind of distracting. I feel like if I'm gonna practice Japanese while doing this, I might as well just not stream. So I might just do more videos like these, but I'm not sure. Okay, for now, the first step for mastering conversational Japanese is going to be coming up with an answer in English and typing it all out. So let's go ahead and tackle the one that I want to answer the most, the one that I failed to answer eloquently in the interview, which is what do you do with YouTube, basically? So talking about work and projects and passions and stuff related to that. We will talk it out right now and then try to type it out once we have a solid answer that's spoken. So usually my natural response in Japanese when people ask me like what I do is I say I just do freelance. And it's easiest to say that I just do freelance for voiceover, but you know, I make online courses and I used to make more money off of YouTube as well. So that's something that's definitely dropped recently, but I think for now, I will state that I mainly do freelance work for video production. And once I'm in Japan, I do want to try my hand at photography because I have done headshots for my friends and family, and usually it turns out pretty well. And I feel like I can make some money off of that once I'm in Japan as well. So once I'm actually in Japan this time around, I will actually try to make income off of some video and photography stuff. I think one of my goals in the future is just to create a production company. It feels like the move to make considering the experience that I have. And one of the things I like to do is anticipate what someone says. So I'm gonna assume the person might ask, oh, you know, like what kind of something? Because usually when I say I do YouTube, like what kind of videos, or I say I do voiceover, what kind of voiceovers? So I'll have an answer for, I guess, all of these, just in case they ask. Or like what kind of videos? I can say product video because I've done that before. I also have made many videos about video equipment, like microphones and cameras. I think I should make like a reel or something, or like a portfolio for like the best video stuff I've done regarding this. So if people want to ask me, then yeah, this is also a way to network. That was it. Did we really do 3 rounds? That was 3 rounds? That didn't feel like 3 rounds. Wow. For this one, I can say, make YouTube videos for fun. You know what? I almost feel like this is something I should be doing off camera because it feels like it requires a lot of thinking. And once I have the answers, I can just say them out loud to the camera instead of like thinking on camera because it feels kind of pointless. And also the thing's done. So anyways, I think at the end of these, I'll give a quick update for all the challenges so far, just to have something. I will also probably post it on X or Twitter and maybe Threads. I still have to figure out like what I should do where. But basically, for number 1, for voice acting, voiceover stuff, we're still looking into researching demo stuff. We're gonna actually do stuff right after dinner to start collecting our demo, getting it ready, basically. Then for mission number 2, right after we announced it, we worked on developing the melody further and how things are gonna go. And I think in my head, we have an idea of how we want the piece overall. So we just need to get into Logic and start creating it in the MIDI, outlining it basically. And for mission 3, for the splits, we just did it, did not really notice it. I do feel like I overall am quite loose. It's not bad right now. I think that I was sore in the morning, but as the day went on, the soreness decreased. So I was able to just do it in a similar fashion today, even though I kind of like half paid attention while doing it. So I don't know how effective it was, but it's okay because I was kind of sore, so I don't mind a less focused session, as long as I still do every exercise. But that really did feel like 2 rounds instead of 3. And then mission number 5, which is the Japanese stuff. We are slowly getting there. I think at the very least, this one question we will be able to answer very well. Like, what do you do for work? Which will lead to some of my hobbies and stuff like that as well, because it's just like essentially asking, what do you do, right? What do you do with your time? And that's probably, you know, the most interesting question you can ask someone, in my opinion, because I just love talking about the stuff that I do. It's just so fun to me to talk about those things. And to be able to communicate that very clearly in Japanese for people I meet in the future, I think that's very important, and since I'm gonna be spending a lot of time in Japan, that's probably gonna be, I'm probably gonna practice this a lot, like get to practice this a lot, which is good. And it'll be cool to basically sound fluent. Okay, so that's mission number 5. I think if this works really well, which I believe it should, because according to a video that I recorded recently that I will post, it takes around maybe like 50 attempts before I can say something near fluency. So if I just apply that to whatever lines that we want, then we should be able to achieve some level of conversational fluency, at least when it comes to one question that someone asks me plus the follow-ups. Okay, so that was the reveal of mission number 5. We will upload this after mission number 4 is revealed, even though in real time we're kind of doing things out of order. It's a little strange. We did the same thing for 2 as well. Okay, let's get it.